You've been doing a lot of to and fro. So I want to ask you, how
Goa,
do you
Bombay.
look? Yeah, from
Oh my
Goa,
God,
Mumbai. You've
yeah.
been doing for work. You've been doing a lot of to and fro trips. How do you look at the current state of the Indian film industry and the content it's making? What are your thoughts on it?
I don't know what to say.
Say
I mean,
whatever.
there's nothing happening now. Everyone's unemployed. There's no work. It's not a good time in the industry. I'm not an economist. I'm not a business person. So I can only vouch for the fact that most of the actor friends I know are out of work.
Yeah.
And it's quite consistently, like a lot of them are also just going and doing Telugu films or Tamil films because there's no work in here. I don't know what's causing it. I don't know how long it's going to last. I hope it doesn't last too much longer. I personally feel like it's not different from some of the other times in my career where there have been bouts of no work. And in those bouts of no work, I usually get on with some other thing, writing something, doing my shows, which I take around, like corporate shows on motherhood that I have, a couple of, different monologues, things like that. So I do keep myself busy. So I'm lucky to have other means of continuing. And I think more and more, we have to be creative in our fields for that. The media, the mediums are also changing. The way we watch things is changing. It's in a process of change. OTT was like this bubble that just went crazy, right, for like 10 years. Everybody was getting work. Everybody was thriving from it. And now that bubble has burst. And everyone's everything's stalled. Things haven't been working. So it's time to reinvent, recreate, figure out stuff. It seems like the business models are changing. I mean, Amir Khan's coming up with this release on YouTube, which is a completely risky, but if anyone can risk it, it's him, idea. But if he pulls it off, it's like really a very hopeful thing for creative makers, because it's going back literally to the olden days where you used to go to the rental place and rent out a movie. You're literally paying for the movie. You're renting it out for the week. Right?
Yeah.
That's what we used to do. And I sometimes do that. I'm like so tired. I can't look at Netflix and be like, what do I watch? There's so much. I don't know what to watch. So I think about, somebody tells me this film, and then I see, I have to pay and rent it out of Amazon. I pay and rent it out, right? Because I'd rather watch something that's been really recommended to me, that I know I'm going to enjoy watching for a specific reason.
Sure.
Than just like put something on and watch like a zombie.
Kalki, because you said that, I want to know, if you analyze this further, do you think like the fact that a lot of original content is not being greenlit, and you have a lot of the trends that are like tentpole films and of franchises and remakes and constant that happening, there is that dearth of really good content having a chance to survive. Do you think that? How do you analyze it?
I think it's hard to say. Everything goes through these cycles. I think good content will have its comeback. Has to. People, won't keep supplying for stuff that, they don't want to watch. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows, right? I mean, I feel like, I don't really know. How can I know? Nobody knows.
Sure.
That's why there's a problem. Everybody's afraid to risk anything, because they don't know what to predict.
Coming to that, right? Like you did Yellow Boots at a time when they were not making again content like that as well. And I remember discussing with you saying that you feel very close to the character because of some of the things that you felt through the character. Tell me how that understanding was for you then, and I think also the time when you worked with Gulshan, and which he mentions.
I felt close to the character. You find things which you relate, right?
Sure.
And just like I relate to Aditi's like tomboyishness, I relate to this feeling like a stranger, like a foreigner, being always looked as that person, and trying to find out who you are, wanting to know your roots. Yeah, that to a certain degree. I still feel like I don't know enough about my grandparents, for example. I wish I knew more about them, and they passed away. So you have this feeling that if you can understand them, you can understand you better, yourself better, because you carry things that you don't even know about from those generations, right? Generational trauma, generational traits, and I do find that fascinating. So I'm sure at that time I would have related to that aspect. Then, of course, you use tools to make that character yours. So, like, I remember that time I used a lot of heavy metal music and a lot of I was listening to the Muse, and not heavy metal, but this kind of kind of music, I had like a whole playlist, and I was always listening with the headphones to this music.
Do you do that often for your characters?
I did then. I do that a lot less now. I think I used to feel this need to be there, And it's a lot of effort, and it keeps you very unpleasant also, I think, in general, because then you're only that.
Yeah.
Now I find it easier to pop in and out, even if I'm playing an intense character. In fact, I feel the need to release from that a lot more. Like now I'm I do something intense in a scene or, play some intense character, and I'm like, okay, I need to shake that off, go joke around, do something else, something very different in energy to keep my balance. I think when I was younger, I didn't want to keep my balance. I wanted only to go straight deep dive into something, and everything else didn't matter,
Yeah.
And I think that comes with experience. And also feeling more confident that you can go there if you need to.
Sure.
That I can go into a very dark place in a matter of seconds if I need to. I don't need to be there all the time. That comes from experience, yeah.
Sure. I think our early experiences of understanding relationships kind of comes from our parents. Am I right? I mean, I don't know if it's hard for you.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
How did that
That's such a depressing thought.
But it does, isn't it? But it is, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yes. Is this a therapy
And
session,
then
Rudraji?
I hope it's for me, because I'm hoping I learn from it more than you. But then, and I think from then you kind of make what your idea of being in a relationship will be, and your idea of marriage and love and all of that. How was that evolution for you? Starting from watching your parents.
My parents divorced when I was 13. It was really bad, very bad. They were really nasty to each other, and it was like cold and mean, and growing up between that was very tough. Maybe that's why I'm divorced.
I don't think that's necessarily.
Yeah, definitely. There's a certain part of you that jeopardizes relationships once they start going bad.
Sure.
And you're like, oh, this happens, right? Because that's you've been witness to that as a child. I've been witness to my parents separating and divorcing and hating each other for a while. So I'm like, oh yeah, this is what happens. And so you don't put in that, some part of you is lost that faith that you can work through the worst. And I guess over time and consciousness and therapy, I've become more aware of that need to jeopardize before it, before it gets too bad, I'm just going to step away, detach, so that sort of has evolved over time. And I'm like, okay, even if the worst thing comes true, what next? How do I go forward? I don't have to run away from it, which is definitely through a lot of therapy and awareness.
Sure.
But yeah, what can I say? I mean.